Well, actually, I see a bit of everyone, so let's get started. Gateway, do you have any updates?
Good afternoon. The updates. We added Beacon API RPC endpoint for Ethereum. It was requested some point last year. I'll let you know in the channel details. They are on Lighthouse client. Next steps is to have Nimbus client, which also was requested. And along with continuation for private access for consensus layer RPC, we go further. That's all updates.
Perfect, thank you. Shutter?
Not too much to report this week. There's still some peer-to-peer issues, the same as reported last week. We have a call with Mark from Nethermind this week to get to the bottom of this, hopefully. And also working a bit on dev tooling to make testing easier. I think that's pretty much it. Also, one note, next week, our whole team will be on an offsite, so we probably won't be able to join the call next week.
All right, thank you. Testing, Hive?
No updates regarding Hive. I was busy with Pecto testing.
All right, for Ethereum/tests.
Hello, guys. We will be moving our efforts to Ethereum execution spec test in order to cover Pectra testing. We are working on the implementation of Nethermind to run the Ethereum test for Gnosis. Because right now it's done for Ethereum, but not for Gnosis. Requires some changes.
All right. Well, I guess moving on to general updates then for clients and Nethermind.
We're progressing with all the things. So Pectra, with the release, we are working on a few bug fixes. I think it is not ready yet. Other than that, nothing really new, just working on the same stuff and progressing.
All right, Erigon?
Nothing from me. Maybe Som or Milan have an update.
Quick update on Shutter. So I have a basic peer-to-peer connectivity working for Shutter. And I'll be joining the call with Mark and with Ulrich from Shutter on Friday discuss the peer-to-peer stuff. And for next week, I'm working on just adding support for reading all the data from the smart contract, Shutter smart contracts that are needed for decryption and for sequencing of transactions. That's all on my side.
Awesome. Do you have like a very rough idea of when the basic stuff should work for Shutter?
I'm hoping mid-Feb to have something working.
Awesome.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But roughly, that's kind of my target.
Awesome. Sounds good. Samnat, you were saying something, I think?
An add-on update for Erigon. Pectra DevNet 5 changes as per Ethereum specs are almost all merged into main branch, and also the corresponding Erigon 2 branch, which is release 261, except maybe for one EIP, which is related to lob gas scheduling, which would mean that the main branch and the release branch for Erigon 2, which is release /261, will diverge from Gnosis's DevNet 1 for Pectra. So the tests will definitely fail unless we update the specs on Gnosis as well, just an FYI.
Marek?
So we have almost the same situation in Nethermind, and I guess we should just go ahead and move forward with Gnosis testing once we are all ready to DevNet 5 scope for Gnosis as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the issue. Is that because the DevNet is not the same, it's not running the same spec for Gnosis and Ethereum?
Yeah, because on mainnet right now, we will have Pectra DevNet 5 very soon, but it is not started yet, but very soon. So clients are preparing for this DevNet 5, and we are like, we have the DevNet 4 spec on Gnosis. So we will have to create a new DevNet with the new scope, basically. So I guess that's the issue. That's
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan anyways, right? So as soon as Ethereum comes up with Spectrum, I mean, spins up the DevNet 5, we will do the same.
Yeah, exactly, or even slightly earlier, but I'm not sure. We will see.
So in that case, we don't need diverging branches, right?
Yes, I think we don't need to support DevNet 4 anymore. We can just go ahead and support only DevNet 5 scope, the final scope.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. All right, Geth?
Yeah, not much. I'm waiting for the guy who reproduced, who had an issue, a stack trace, to reproduce it with my extra traces. I was discussing with Gonzalo about the release process. So now, if I understand correctly, we're building images every time we put a new tag. No new release from mainline Geth, so no new release for Notice either. Yeah, hopefully that's happening soon. Otherwise, the same guy who reported stack traces was asking me to look at the bad block. That bad block is not produced like most Geth validators produce blocks. So I don't know why this issue happened, but it was a Bloom filter thing. So I'm kind of having a look, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know exactly what could have caused it because we rewrote our Bloom filter code. So I'm digging into this. Maybe there will be a PR for mainline Geth. But yeah, it's a bit weird. It's not critical, but because it's annoying because that person missed a block, but it's not like every client stack tracing. But because Geth mainline can have the same problem, I want to look into that.
All right, Wrath?
Hello. Yeah, I have two updates. One, we have crossed Shanghai, and I manually synced around, I think, 200K blocks, and everything works fine. The second and bigger change is that so earlier that couldn't connect. It had a P2P issue. It couldn't connect to what do you call it, peers. Currently, that is partially solved. So right now, I am syncing around 2.8 million blocks directly from peers instead of downloading and executing. For some reason, outgoing connections are fine, but incoming connections are getting dropped. So I have to check that out. But yeah, currently, I have set it to sync up to Cancun. I think 600 blocks before Cancun. So once that is done, I'll again go through Cancun manually, and yeah, need to debug the incoming P2P issue.
Awesome.
Yeah, by the way, just one clarification. You said currently syncing 2.8 mil blocks. This is in the debug mode, so it downloaded the headers, bodies, and now is executing. I think syncing should be syncing is more when the CL is there and it is actually executing
Right.
blocks one by one when it as it downloads.
something like that. Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
I'll add a disclaimer here.
Yes.
All right. Anything else for Pectra? I guess DevNet 5 we can discuss next week or over this week when it happens. Marek?
Yes, I have actually one question. As far as I remember, we discussed blob parameters for Gnosis, and we wanted to raise it slightly for Pectra. I might be correct here. I might be not, but there is one extra parameter that we will have to consider: blob base fee fraction. And it was adjusted slightly for mainnet. So we will have to consider it for Gnosis as well, how we want to adjust this parameter.
What does this change?
It changes the way that blobs react to usage, right? How pricing is changing. How many percent of if the block is full of blobs or if it is empty and so on. So those base fee related changes. You know what I mean? Because I'm
not familiar with that EIP, but I understand, I guess. I mean, this part we haven't discussed internally yet. I would say probably adapting whatever Ethereum is doing should be fine, and then the easiest as well. Before block counts, I think we discussed internally, and we didn't really want to adapt it at this time because no one is actually really using blobs on Gnosis Chain. So we were planning on keeping it at 1.2. And then for this, I would say, yes, do the same as Ethereum.
Yes, so I will try to think about it more and maybe provide updates on the Telegram on the next call because I'm not sure how exactly, what does it mean to have the same number as mainnet right now for this blob base fee fraction. But
yeah, sounds good. And anyways, we'll discuss it with Lion as well internally. He couldn't make it today, sadly. But yeah, let's confirm with him first too.
All right, sounds good.
Was there anything else, Andrew?
No, I also wanted to ask about the blob schedule.
Okay, sounds good. Mitro?
Yeah, I just want to mention regarding Pectra testing, we still have the same issue like last week with deposit contract. We try to deploy it from Genesis using different tools, but it seems not working with DemoNet. So maybe we will need some help from Gnosis team to deploy this contract on DevNet and check it works properly.
Yes, I was actually also going to ask this now. So last week, I think we talked about the deposit UI, right? Because we need be able to consolidate and deposit for multiple validators at the same time, or multiple, a higher effective balance, whatever. Did you do a document for this so we can send it to the dev team?
I have sent actually everything in this QA Telegram channel and mention you. Maybe you missed it.
Yeah, I missed it. So I will check that.
Okay.
And then for the deposit contract, so you're just using so github.com/Gnosis Chain/deposits contracts.
Yeah.
That on...
Yeah, the problem is that we have some EVM error after
basically revert.
Yeah.
I remember.
The contract creation or the like a transaction actually like a function call on the contract.
Function call.
Okay, yeah. If you can send me all the information, I will look into that. I think Lion and I worked a lot on the deposit contract, so we can probably check that out.
Okay, I will send.
Awesome. Anything else? All right, sounds good. Yeah, I'll follow up on the deposit contracting then, and for the rest, thanks for joining, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. See you next
Thank
week.
you. Bye.